Look, that game was so dominant, it almost got boring to the point where we saw more free throws from Eddie Johnson played than highlights from the game.
Congrats.
Psychos and sickos unite for a Christmas is early edition of the PHNX Suns post-game show presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app, use code PHNX365. Deposit 10, place a bet for 5 to get $150 in bonus bets. The Phoenix Suns take down the Los Angeles Fakers 132-108. I'm Eric, that's Espo. We got Gil and the Freckled Mamba behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen as the Phoenix Suns absolutely dominated belt to ass to the Fakers. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you for spending your Christmas Eve with the PHNX Suns crew. We've got a lot to dive into today. Maybe one of the best budding rivalries in all of sports. A blue-collar extravaganza. The Phoenix Suns making it through the gauntlet stretch that so many people said they would falter into, and doing it all without their second-best player the entirety of the way. It's going to be an exciting
Are we sure he's the second best player the way Dillon Brooks has been playing?
I mean,
Dillon might be the second best player on this team even when Jalen Green comes back.
Well, I think we'll have to see when Jalen Green comes back, but the fact that it's a conversation is a good one. Excited to have a conversation with all of you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become a member today, become a diehard today. Gil, wow. I mean, not even stress at all in that game. They beat the crap out of the Lakers.
We were icing on these in the fourth quarter, just like the vets on the Suns team were. I mean, I think that the thing that I want to say is response. Like, how do you respond? How do you respond to losing to this team about 9 days ago? How do you respond to losing over the weekend? And that was a resonating response. I mean, the fact that they just came out of the gates and really, Lakers had a couple buckets early on. After that, it was basically all Suns all game. Devin Booker scoring, distributing, the efficiency, seeing the way the guys kind of shared the ball, seeing Mark Williams respond to having a couple games where he got played off the floor, his activity. A lot of these guys, everybody responded in a way that they knew that they did not want to lose this game. You never want to lose this game, but they were not going to accept a loss in this game. And the result is a dominant win and good vibes and good feelings going into the Christmas holiday.
Yeah, and you look at that, and it's amazing that they were able to accomplish it with how poorly they shot from three in that first quarter.
Yeah.
And really, for a lot of that first half, they shot poorly from deep, but they found a way to turn it around and hit effectively for the rest of the game. And to anybody that did not believe that this Suns team was going to be able to come through this gauntlet and play well, joke's on you, because you can suck it.
And we'll take a look from a big picture perspective. Want to give a shout out to Maria, who just sent a $10 super chat. But Maria also said, been very sick and haven't had the energy to watch this season, but enjoyed getting to watch a few minutes tonight. Miss these post games. Maria, we hope you're feeling better, and whatever you're going through, we hope that you're able to get through it. And we're glad if we're able to give you just maybe a couple of minutes of relief. So thank you so much for being here, Maria, and spending some time with us. This game would be a nice one for anybody to drop into and watch, and a big part of that was Dillon Brooks. Usually we do this later in the show, but I say let's get to our due to the night, presented by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. It's got to be the guy who put up a stat line so rare we barely ever see it happen in NBA history. It's Dillon Brooks. Sure, he had 25 points tonight. We see that a lot in the NBA, but alongside those 25 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 turnovers. Nothing but buckets from Dillon. Nothing but buckets and antics.
And memes.
And memes and antics and fouls. That is the whole Dillon Brooks experience.
He was handing out the memes like they're candy today. Like, it was just unbelievable the antics and the memes and everything that was coming from Dillon Brooks. I am so glad that this guy is a part of the Suns. I understand there's frustration when he gets a technical foul or a flagrant. But this guy's fun, and he's a guy that does all the things that you wanted from this team. And I think, like I said to start off, he may actually be the second best guy on this roster behind Devin Booker.
Yeah, we got a shimmy. We got high step. We got 25 seconds of just camera gold of him knowing where the camera was and realizing while he was sitting in the spectator seats, by the way. But I think the thing with him, we know about the individual feud, rivalry, whatever you want to call it, with him and LeBron James. And some guys get psyched out by that and they don't play their game because of that. But from the onset of the game, he took it personally and played within himself, had a couple buckets early on, and the efficiency with which he played tonight, 10 of 15 from the field, 25 points, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. Like, it's just good to see. And I think, he talked about soul searching. We talked about channeling and harnessing whatever it was, the good, and we saw all of the good Dillon Brooks tonight. And it didn't really result in other stats other than points, but his presence on the defensive end, his leadership, the fact that guys like to rally around him and take some of what he brings with that attitude. It was just a quintessential Dillon Brooks performance tonight.
And physical, but not too physical.
Yeah.
And antics, but not too much where it caused the refs to get up in their feels. It was the perfect amount. And I guess that soul searching returned something.
It was the quintessential Dillon Brooks game from what we've seen from him, including what I would like to call our play of the game, or love the play, presented by Arizona Lottery Play and Gift. Today, a great stocking stuffer, those Arizona Lottery scratchers. First free throws of the game taken by, of course, a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. And, of course, it's LeBron James. And I remember Gil asking on the watch along, was there a lane violation on that first free throw? Oh, yeah, there was. It was Dillon Brooks literally just walking across the lane as LeBron James shot the free throw.
Just enough of a poke the bear. Yeah.
This is a guy who, after the first Lakers game, said, quote, "I don't bow down." Right? And then there's that second Lakers game that happens that is a big ref show, and the Suns comeback gets cut short. A large part of that is because Dillon Brooks was kind of taken out of the game by the refs and everything, and him and LeBron had gotten into it. He goes into tonight's game, best player on the court tonight as far as an impact standpoint. He didn't record a rebound and assist. And Espo, your argument for second best player on the team, there are nights where him and Devin Booker are on the court and he's still playing like the best player. And there have been obviously nights where we've wanted to see a little bit more from Devin Booker. I don't think tonight was one of those nights, but Dillon Brooks has been the go-to guy for this team a lot of this season. And I think if we talked about that in the offseason and predicted what the record would be, if that was happening, it wouldn't be 3 games over 500.
No, and the reason that you have to consider him as the second best or one of the best out there is because he's doing this offensively, but it hasn't cost him at all on the defensive end. Yeah. He's still performing at the highest of levels defensively, and that is such a big part of why you brought Dillon Brooks in. And the offense has been a nice little bonus to go along with it, with how efficient he's been. I remember early in the season, we were like, oh my God, is this guy really going to take this many shots and be inefficient? Well, guess what? He may take those many shots, but he's found some efficiency in doing it on a lot of nights. And he's found that confidence, not only in the three-point shot, but being able to hit those turnaround jumpers as well. Like, this guy is in his bag in the best way possible.
It's funny you picked the walk across and the antics right there, right? Like, it wasn't anything crossing the line. It was like something that's a little annoying, but like, it's not something that's going to like poke the bear and wake the bear up and make LeBron mad and be like, man, I'm about to just go off and score 15, 17 straight, which he's capable of doing it every now and then, but I think he's saving some for Thursday because they play on Christmas Day. But those types of things, I think that's another example of just channeling it. And I think you mentioned the defense thing too, with him being an actual two-way player and not a 3-and-D guy, but a literal guy who you can trust to give the ball in his spots, go get a bucket, but also we trust you to have enough energy still to guard the other team's number 1 or number 2 option and shut that side of the court down or whatever, like a shutdown corner does in football. So the fact that he's still doing that, we talked about how it could take a mental and physical toll on him, but knowing that there's potentially a light at the end of the tunnel with Jalen Green coming back and that lightening the load in 2 or 3 weeks from now, I think that I trust him to continue to do that. And I think that, like with everybody else, when it gets a little bit easier, once that reprieve comes, it'll be great.
I felt like that walking across the lane too was just a reminder. Hey, I'm still here.
I'm here. I'm in your head. And look, the Dillon Brooks highlight reel at the end of this season, I don't think people are going to really believe it.
No, that up and under move tonight.
Ooh.
The up and under, the post fadeaway. And look, there are some of those plays that make it to the timeline for non-Suns fans to see. But realistically, this guy's doing something like that every single time that he's on the court. Tough mid-range fadeaway buckets. His efficiency is still crazy. I know his three-point efficiency has not been exactly where you wanted it to be this season, not as good as it was in Houston. But if you watch how he scored in Houston versus how he's scoring now, it's night and day. The Suns and Jordan Ott have empowered this guy to be himself. And that means some of the downsides. And we've had some of those moments offensively or also from the antic side of things. But it has been vastly, overwhelmingly positive with Dillon Brooks. And Gil, from a player's perspective, right? Obviously, there are different systems that you have to fit into, especially when there's certain coaches and offensive styles. But when you get into an extended groove like this and you're kind of allowed to be yourself, it just makes you better, right? Like that confidence relays into even more upticks in performances.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of feels like there's a couple things at play, right? There's the confidence, there's the hard work that he's been putting in that everybody's kind of noticed and documented, and you can tell that it's paying off. And you feed that confidence by putting him in spots to succeed. And he rewards the coaches and his teammates for having that confidence in him by making the most of it. So we've seen that, and I think that's the cool thing. That's kind of what you call team chemistry, right? And that extends from top to bottom, from the coaching staff through the players in the locker room. And you can tell that this is a group that really likes playing with one another because they trust Dillon Brooks in these spots. And obviously they know that when he does a little too much, he can trust them or they can trust him to say, look, hey, Dillon, you just reel it in just a little bit. And I think that accountability, the push and pull, the confidence, the trust across the board is very evident on a game-to-game basis, especially if one game doesn't necessarily go the way you should. They still trust him to bounce back and have a game like he did tonight.
Well, and then it takes some of the pressure off Devin, too.
Yeah.
And that's I think the biggest thing that we were all concerned about with Jalen Green's injury was who's going to be able to do that for Devin, where he can still be effective, but he doesn't have to score 40 a night for you to be in games and be able to win convincingly. And tonight was a perfect example of that. They both had very good games, but Devin could go out there, be efficient, drop his 21, have 11 dimes to go along with it, and only have to play, what was it, 27 minutes?
They didn't have to play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so like that's the perfect kind of night. And amazingly enough, Brooks had 25 points in 24 minutes himself. So that's two really efficient, effective games from both of those guys tonight. And I don't think Devin can do that without Dillon being the guy that he is right now.
Yeah, I want to dive a little bit more into Devin Booker's game, but first some housekeeping. Welcome to being an MVP. Welcome to being a member.
MVP.
You now get access to exclusive emojis, including an updated Dillon Brooks emoji, which is literally just him staring, which is what he does pre-game, plus exclusive content as well, including an exclusive PHNX Suns mailbag, PHNX producers playing headbands, which was really, really fun and really cool. You get a ton of really great stuff by being a member. And also
teach Gil how to ride a bike on there.
Yeah, look, Gil, I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I'm not a biker.
Is that how you got your concussion?
No, that's not how I got my concussion. No? That's another part of the housekeeping. Somebody says only potheads and people with pink eye wear sunglasses inside. You miss the secret third option. Guys who get concussions in really silly ways, because that would be me.
He actually has pink eye, did a little pot, Ed got the concussion.
I'm a real triple threat, actually. Yeah, here, I got pink eye.
Hey, all right. Rub it into the mic right now. There you go.
We got Kev in the chat with a super chat. It's so nice when we can actually see you, Kev. With a $2 super chat says, we are so effing back. This Phoenix has risen again.
I want to challenge people. We usually do a like challenge. I want to see if we can donate as many memberships as the Suns won by points.
Whoa. That's a lot.
Let's see if we can do that. That's 24 if I did my math. Right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
why
don't we do 24 donated subs tonight? Can we make it happen? Let's see. And by the way, we got to do this. We didn't do this off the top. If you don't mind me doing this, we got to put the Lakers away. Put that tag on their toe and let's slam that drawer shut because the morgue has taken another victim.
Another victim has been taken. We'll talk about how that life got took on Christmas Eve. 132 to 108. We'll talk Devin Booker. We'll talk some blue-collar boys, some starting blue-collar boys, some off the bench blue-collar boys.
Everybody's blue-collar.
We'll take a look at the numbers, and we'll take you into your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, celebrating a 24-point victory on the other side of our first break. Look, high quality is the standard here at PHNX, and it's beyond the standard over
This show proves it.
At Branded Bills. Look, Branded Bills has gear to help your brand stand apart from the crowd, including brand new PHNX hats with a brand new PHNX Suns hat as well. We're really excited to be rocking those on the show very soon. And whether you need snapback truckers, fitted beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered, not just with the style, but also with the performance. High quality headwear for any occasion. They have partnerships with 40 universities, like fantastic institutions that are #1 in innovation, and of course that have won a Big 12 championship in football recently, like Arizona State University, and they'll do charity work down south with the universities who need a little help, if you know what I'm saying. They also partner with the PHNX Suns, and they're a local company. We love local here at PHNX out of Mesa, Arizona. Plus, they might just partner with you. Right now, head to brandedbills.com. Use code BBPHNX. That's BBPHNX for 15% off your first order.
Speaking of companies that have taken charities on universities that need them, Mountain America Credit Union, they named the stadium over at ASU, but they've got a debit card for you as a PHNX Suns fan. Right now, you can get the PHNX Suns card, not just as a debit card, but as a credit card as well. But I highly recommend you do it as a debit card with the My Style checking account, because if you've got to put your money somewhere, Gil, you might as well make it work for you. And I've explained this to you. You know what my sales pitch is going to be here, but it's simple. You're going to get restaurant discounts. You're going to get mobile phone protection. You're going to get telehealth access.
Whoa!
That was more for Eric because we know,
Yeah,
he needs the doctor more than the rest of us. Plus, you're going to wind up getting loan rate discounts as well. So why wouldn't you do it? Make My Style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/Suns to apply. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration and activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
Let me tell you a little bit about my lifestyle and how APS has helped it out so much. There's a couple things about me that you need to know, and if you've been listening, you do know. Number one, I'm lazy. Number two, I'm cheap. And boy, does APS help me out with both of those.
You really sold Megan on you, huh?
Because hey, listen, I'm also funny because I got an APS Smart Thermostat. Look, APS Smart Thermostats help you out in so many different ways. Not only can you take advantage of lower cost off-peak hours by being able to adjust your thermostat from any device, even if you're away from home, but let's say it's the holidays and you're hosting and you got a bunch of people over. Maybe it's getting a little bit too hot in the living room, but you don't want to get up. You don't want to mess up the vibe. No, you got to do is pull out your phone and boom, you can change the temperature in your house. Or let's just say you're being lazy. You're sleeping in. You got the day off of work. Maybe you went out New Year's Eve and you don't want to get up out of bed and you're a little bit too cold. You want to turn the heat on. Guess what? Pull out your phone. Bang. APS Smart Thermostat. They have you covered, not just saving you money, but saving you time and energy in more ways than one. And right now, APS customers can get Smart Thermostat from as low as $0 at aps.com/sale. Shipping and taxes not included. Other restrictions apply. We've got some new MVPs courtesy of Kara, who donated 5 gift memberships, getting the ball rolling. Shout out to Hunter Zona, Cards Kingdom, KR Gordon, Shane, and Froggy, who got those memberships.
And to answer Henrik's question, it's because you're a Lakers fan. So.
Henry asked why they didn't get one.
No, there's a whole. You'll have to.
Missed it. Sorry,
Yeah,
concussion. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Oh, jeez. Okay, I just saw that comment. All right, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's have some fun here as we get closer to the holidays. Just a reminder, the show will be off tomorrow and on Christmas, and then we will be back on Friday night as the PHNX Suns take on the Pelicans. But first things first, let's continue to celebrate tonight. We mentioned our dude of the night. It's Dillon Brooks. Before we get to Blue Collar Boys, I think we need to spend some time diving into Devin Booker's game. You mentioned the stats earlier, Espo, but a nice light double-double for Devin Booker, 21 and 11. Also adding a couple of rebounds, 2 steals, a plus 21 on the night, shooting 7 of 14 from the field. And guess what? 0 of 2 from deep. Devin Booker had a really strong and impactful game tonight. Wasn't as high on the scoring end, but the playmaking from him, and I think from the team overall, might have been the best that we've seen all season.
Yeah, I mean, he went out there and he did little things. The passing with Devin is so important to this team, and when you wind up having 35 assists like they did, which is almost always a recipe for success when they go above that 30 mark, is in large part because of what Devin did in getting the offense going tonight and that ball moving around. 11 assists is impressive, and it didn't feel like at any point they really needed him to go into that Armani mode and take over and score. He just kind of let the game come to him tonight, and I think that was the most important thing for him, was just letting it flow. And that is something that sometimes I think he can press with this team, especially when there's not a Dillon that's having that kind of a night. Tonight he didn't need to. He could just be himself, pass that ball around, get to his spots, make those shots when he could. I wish that pull-up three that he took dropped, but other than that, I thought it was a really effective night for him.
Yeah, very effective, and the assist numbers obviously are good in itself, but what they represented, he was always making the right play. Not to say that he doesn't do that, but it was actually paying off tonight. And one thing that I mentioned when we were watching this during the watch-along, he kept getting 2 feet in the lane, and a lot of those assists that he had was him getting downhill, getting dribble penetration, being a threat to either score or spray it out, finding shooters, finding guys cutting, things like that. And that's a formula for success, something we've talked a lot about. Steven talks about it a lot, applying rim pressure. And obviously, when you get Grayson Allen back, he's another guy who can apply rim pressure. Jalen Green, that is going to be his calling card with this team. But to see Devin doing that, one, just speaks to his basketball IQ and knowing that's what this team needs. But also, I think that also speaks to the fact that he's definitely over that injury that was holding him back. Because I think that those drives and things like that were something that he was a little tentative to do. I pointed out the drive on Jackson Hayes today was the exact same play he got injured on a few weeks ago. Didn't bother him. So mentally, he's past that as well. So now we're settling back in. I think this is the version of Booker we're going to see. And also, buckle up. We see some big performances from this weekend in the Bayou.
The core short's gone. The boys can breathe. He's ready.
We're good.
Well, look, one of our cores in the chat, Sean, becoming a member.
Welcome back, Sean. MVP.
Sean, you already know what you get.
16 more to go.
Yeah, there we go.
16 more to go. Let's get them. Let's get 16 more. I didn't say. Oh, I thought you were doing this.
Yeah.
You were doing this.
All right.
Yeah, 16 more. It's just supporter club members. Let's go.
So with Book, I want to kind of branch out and look at the team as a whole here, especially when it comes to that passing. When you go up against a team like the Lakers, who are not great at defense, there's one way that you could take advantage, and that's by moving the ball. That's exactly what they did tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Of course, the only number that matters, 132 to 108. They take down the Los Angeles Lakers. Look, there's a lot of other stats up there. Yeah. This Lakers took more free throws and they shot 62%. Who cares? I want to focus on that assist stat. 35 to 22, 35 assists for the Suns. I don't know if it's a season high, but it's got to be pretty damn close. That is a lot of assists. I felt like overall, top to bottom, this was the best ball movement game that we've seen from the team. We saw bounce passes from Colin, from Oso. Jamaree Bouyea was moving the rock around there. Colin Gillespie added 8 assists in his own right. Royce O'Neal looking like Magic Johnson out there, going like this with his hands before he was passing. Also threw a really bad lob as well. But you saw as a team,
like Magic. So
yeah. You saw as a team now, they've played the Lakers 3 times, right? Yes. And I want to take that middle game out of it because there's just a lot of extra shenanigans in there that the Suns couldn't control. Game number 1, they take on the Lakers that are fully healthy at that time. Devin Booker goes down in that game, and what do? They take advantage of the defensive liabilities of the Lakers, attack them from a holistic team perspective, and then they made Luka score and took away the rest of the team. Yeah. Okay, then you go to tonight. No Luka, Reeves off the bench. Maybe a little bit of a better defensive starting lineup, but still not a good defense. What do? You move the ball like crazy. Every time somebody's on the ball, they're either driving or they're passing it in that 0.5 offense that we came to love under Monty Williams. And you don't see them do that every night, Gil. I think what I really love about this team in general and what we saw tonight is that they are focused on exploiting the weaknesses of the teams that they take on. And it is apparent in their game plan. It shows preparation, but also talent and ability from the players to go out there and execute on it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because when you said that specific to the Lakers, you said, is this season high with assists or not? Season high is 37 and lost to the Jazz. That was overtime. After that, 35 against the Lakers 2 weeks ago.
There we go.
On December 1st, or 3 weeks ago now on December 1st. And on top of that, this team is 10-2 now with 26 or more assists in a game.
Ooh.
So you talk about the importance of passing the ball and getting high quality looks, and also just game planning. You know, you talk so much about scout team, and I like that you pointed that out. People always think about, oh yeah, you scout the other team and what they do offensively, who you need to shut down or whatever. But it's important to know their weaknesses defensively as well. And to have three of your best assist games against the Lakers, because they had 29 in the loss last week. That's important. And what I think that led to was shot quality. I was looking at this box score. The starters tonight, 34-52 from the field. 65% from the field from your starting five, because they were getting good looks, because Royce O'Neal was knocking down his threes, because Armani mode, we saw the playmaking version of Armani mode tonight. So I think that's just a clean executed game. Again, the game plan and then the players executing that was really good to see.
10 gifted memberships from Calvin.
All right.
There we go.
More assists. I love these assists.
All these assists,
baby.
Big shout
more
to
to
Calvin.
go.
Let's get a little MVP chant for Calvin.
MVP. MVP. MVP.
Big shout out to everybody who got one of those gifted memberships as well. You all now get access to exclusive emojis and exclusive content here. And if you're new around here and you just got a gifted membership, well, it's a perfect introduction to stick around with PHNX. Tons of fun stuff. There were only 3 players on the court tonight for the Phoenix Suns who didn't record an assist, and only 4 players who didn't record 2 or more assists. Can you tell me the 3 players who did not record an assist?
Rasheer Fleming.
Correct.
Man.
Correct. There is one other player, and we've talked about
Dillon Brooks.
Dillon Brooks with all zeros. There's only one other player who had under 2 assists. Can you tell me who it is? It's pretty obvious. It's Nigel. So Nigel had 1 assist. Okay, Jamaree Bouyea 2 assists. Jordan Goodwin 3 assists, and some really nice passes from Jordan Goodwin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. It wasn't just like crisp ball movement as a team. There were some really slick dimes. Like Royce O'Neal had 3 assists and a couple of really slick ones, including a pocket pass to Mark Williams. Ryan Dunn had 2 assists as well. You have Oso Ighodaro going out there with 3 assists. Mark Williams, in his own right, had 2 very early assists before he started getting rewarded for running the court. This was a total team effort tonight as far as passing the ball goes. I was just really impressed with the team approach, especially it's 2 days before the holidays, right? This team has kind of been sliding a little bit as of late because of the injuries. You just got the Jalen Green news. Grayson Allen was scratched from the game after, being doubtful, but at least being upgraded. And to go out there and just completely take down this team at home, especially when they had some juice early on from LeBron, I just found this to maybe be one of the more impressive wins that we've seen this season from the Suns.
35 assists on 50 makes. You consider how poorly they shot from deep in that first quarter and a half, and they still shoot 59% for the game overall. And what was it, 40% or 41% from behind the arc? This was a fantastic game. I mean, they had the highest scoring quarter of the season with 45. They fell 2 points short of tying the season high in points for a game, and that was in an overtime game against Utah. There is a lot to love about this, and they certainly have the Lakers' number, even going back to preseason. And yeah, they should have beat them in the game that the refs took over as well. I mean, that was just a sloppy, ugly game from both sides, and the Suns still should have won that. The Suns have the Lakers' number, and you got to love that. And it puts them in that second echelon of teams in the West, and this is not where we expected them to be really at all. Even those of us that were optimistic and thought they could be a play-in and borderline playoff team did not expect them to be this good against that next tier in the West. And I think you got to give them a lot of praise for a game like tonight. These are the kind of games that say, no, you are for real. I mean, you dominate them by 24 points tonight. It is a big deal what you were capable of doing. And you sit 16-3, 10-5, or excuse me, 16-13. 16-3 would be much more impressive. 16-13, 10-5 at home, and right there in that 4 through 6 range in the West, 4 through 7. you're within striking distance. Tonight was without Grayson. You still don't have Jalen. There's all sorts of things that you can look at it and go, this was a stellar performance. I think you're right. Probably one of the best. I'd probably put the Spurs one just because of how you shut down Wemby, maybe a step higher. But in terms of just a complete ass kicking, pardon my language, I mean, I guess it's not that bad. That's what tonight was. It was a complete ass kicking. So.
Yeah, and coming into tonight, when we were just talking about what we were expecting and, on air, off air, we looked at the injury report. We saw it was no Luka. We saw it was no Rui, and we knew that the Lakers really had their sights set on Thursday. So we were like, it's probably going to be a sleepy Lakers team. And the Suns probably knew that as well, and they could have been sleepy as well. But instead of that, they came and brought the force early on, and they're like, you know what? If you guys are looking past us, we're going to give you this L. We're gonna win by 20 plus points against you, because regardless of what happens, when we look back, we won't remember who was and who wasn't active, because the Suns were down 2 key players too. Yeah. So we don't want to hear that excuse. And the Suns have a road trip ahead of them, their first Eastern Conference road trip. So they have something that they're looking forward to as well. So I think that, again, I said the response, but making a statement and saying, look, we're not even going to let you hang around. If you guys aren't really feeling it tonight, we'll end your night early, get some rest, and you guys get ready for Houston on Thursday.
Well, look, they were in this, the Lakers were into this game, by the way, because LeBron was into this game, and LeBron was going at it early, getting to the free throw line, taking threes, much to my chagrin. Like they were in it, and they were trying to win this game. I know that, yes, they play on Christmas, but I think with the history between these two teams just this season, I don't think this is a team that they can probably sleep on. Probably because J.J. Redick was really mad after that first game, because they let Colin Gillespie just go Sam Cassell on them. And then the second game, obviously, there's the refs and the craziness. Now you go into this one, it's Brooks, it's LeBron, right? Like, this is LeBron's team at this point because Luka's not there. Reeves off the bench. They were not sleepy tonight. And by the way, the chat not sleepy tonight either. We just added 2 more MVPs, Kerry G and Fire Lord Wilson. What a great name, Fire Lord Wilson.
Given name, by the way.
Yeah, there we go. Let's get a little chant for them going. MVP, MVP, MVP. So what, now we are 3?
You know what?
I think we're 3
Let's just say we're 30 away. Just keep going.
30
Why
away.
not? Let's set the record for one evening. Let's keep going.
We're about 30 minutes into this show. It's time we get to some blue-collar boys, but we are going to get to those blue-collar boys on the other side of this quick break. Sometimes in life, great things happen, fun things happen, like tonight's game, and sometimes not so great, not so fun things happen, like an accident or a serious injury. And if that does happen to you, a family member, or a friend, especially around the holiday season when you're much more active and out and about doing things, the weather's changing, well, look, you got to make sure you do your research and call the husband and wife law team first. Just write this number down, just in case, even if you haven't been in a serious accident or injury recently. 602-783-8841. That's 602-783-8841. That is a number to a team full of certified specialists that brings hundreds of years of combined trial experience of the husband and wife law team. You get access to your attorney at all times, and they make guarantees to you and all of their clients. And nobody can guarantee the outcome of a legal case, but they guarantee that they'll be honest with you, tell you the weaknesses and the strengths of your case. Plus, you can cancel your fee agreement at any time for any reason. If you've had a serious injury or you just want to be prepared, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841, or visit their website at the link in our show notes and tell them that PHNX sent you.
Yeah, and got to tell you about Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you, Gil, at Gila River Resorts.
Do it.
And Casinos. Do it. Do it. You got to love it, because out there at Gila River Resorts Casinos, at one of their 4 valley locations, Wild Horse Pass, Vequiva, Lone Butte, Santan Mountain, you are going to have the most fun you are legally allowed to have in the desert. And that's including in Sin City as well. You're going to have so much fun. 4,500 live table games and slots. The best sports book in the valley, and oh so much more. Not oh so Agadaro, just oh so much more, including unbelievable food. He might be. Unbelievable food.
He's got good taste.
If you're looking for a staycation, you can do it at Wild Horse Pass, one of the best resorts you're going to see in the valley. bar none. You will love it. I love it. My family loves it. And PHNX loves it. So you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
Hit that like button. We're celebrating here, folks. The Phoenix Suns have made it to the end of their gauntlet schedule. I think at the end of this show, we just take a step back and look at this gauntlet schedule and how they did as we now enter what should be a little bit of an easier part of their schedule. Back-to-back games against New Orleans this Friday and then Sunday, or Friday and Saturday, both on the road. And that is a team that's picked up some good wins, but didn't have a good win tonight. Then you play the Cavs on New Year's Eve to close out a very up and down 2025 for the Phoenix Suns. But it wasn't up and down tonight. It was just up, and that is thanks to a lot of our blue collar boys. I want to give it to a lot of players tonight, but this one specifically had a bounce back game that was much needed and helped power the Suns out to that early lead. Let's give it to Mark Williams. In just 21 minutes tonight, Mark put up 18 points, shot 7 of 8 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists. Why not add 2 blocks in there as well? Gil, we talked about it. These last 2 games against the Warriors, in fact, all of the games against the Warriors this season, he has not had a great performance. But tonight, he was the best center on the court, and a lot of that came from hustle and energy.
Yeah, one play that sticks out to me is one that I pointed out. Gets a rebound, finds Royce O'Neal, runs the floor, and gets a dunk. And that's the stuff that we see with the goggles. With the goggles. Got to put your goggles on. And, I think those are the things that he can control and how he is at his best when he's doing that, when he's active on the glass. And we saw him do a little bit of all of those things. He had that really cool putback where he got kind of undercut on the block out and they almost didn't count it, but they counted it. So many little things that he did tonight stood out. And again, it was tidy. 7 of 8 from the field, did it all his work in 21 minutes. And it's good for him and the confidence to remind him. And I know he knows what he's capable of, but after 2 games, 1 loss, 1 win, in which he couldn't really be him and have the impact that we've come to see him having this year, it's a good reminder, especially going into this next stretch, going on the road where some interesting big men matchups waiting for him. He's got his swagger back a little bit. I think it's no better time for that.
Yeah, and he had a lot of those tip balls to keep plays alive, which I think is an underrated part of his game as well. But I think tonight was Marky Mark and the blue collar bunch because there were a lot of guys that I like that actually played a role in a lot of it. And I think I thought as I go full. Apparently, I'm
the teenager from Simpsons.
Yeah, apparently I am. Oh my God! I gotta tell you, Jamaree Bouyea was somebody I think we should have called a blue collar boy tonight.
He definitely was he should have been in the. I mean, he was in the conversation. I think there are like 3 or 4 guys that could have been blue collar boy tonight. Jamaree Bouyea continues to massively impress. He's maybe my favorite player on the team at this point.
Well, I love that he was taking it to Austin Reeves like, you're back from injury, boom, boom, I'm going to take it.
That's what good players do. Yeah. Good players, like Jamaree Bouyea, look, 14 points tonight, 7 of 10 from the field, 70% is nuts. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, only 1 turnover, add a block in there as well in just 24 minutes tonight, okay?
Come on, he made Austin Reeves look like the white guy at the Y that wears the headband. He went, boom. Took him to the hole. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say pasty white guy.
Fair enough. And I don't wear a headband when I play, even though I probably should with this hairline. 0 of 3 from deep. So all 3 of his misses were from deep. Gil, I think the thing that impresses me the most with Jamaree Bouyea is that he has like the patience and the control of somebody who's been playing in the league for 10 years. He checks into the game. He's never rushed. He never makes a bad pass. He never makes a bad decision. He doesn't bite on defense when he shouldn't bite. And if he has a shot, more often than not, he's hitting it. And for a guy who's on a 2-way contract, I cannot help but continue to be impressed. It's to the point where I'm getting texts from my friends during the game being like, yo, this Jamaree Bouyea guy is the truth. And that's exactly what he is.
Yeah, it's really fun to watch him come in there because it's not necessarily easy for guys to come off the bench. You're cold. You don't really know, especially for a guy who joined the team like a month into the season, right? Like, it's one of those things where he just knows the spots to be in, and he's just a cerebral player, and you see it happen in real time. One of the first things I noticed when watching him play, the first show I did, the Kings game, he and I started with the team around the same time.
You are the Jamaree Bouyea. You show up mid-season.
I'll say
better hairline, though. I'll give you
Thanks,
that.
man, I appreciate
you're
that.
welcome.
Is it real, though? All right.
We're in a Jaylen Brown over here?
Just don't get too close.
Don't rub any of that greatness on my jacket, all right?
Get a little zoom in.
but seriously though, like, you know, you talk about like the stuff, that the sense of belonging and confidence. This is a guy who has been trying to find his NBA home for the last couple years. And obviously the belief that they put in him, they give him a 2-way contract, and immediately he's asked to do way more than they probably expected they were going to ask him for. And he probably expected he was going to be asked of him. And he stepped right into it because he's trying to stay in the league. And he's finally found a home with this Suns team, because it's just being in the right place, making the right move, not being afraid to go at Austin Reeves, not being afraid to call his own number. And those things have been most impressive about him. And I think the most impressive part about all of that is that it's been consistent since he first stepped on the floor.
Yeah, and you didn't expect it. You thought, I mean, even Steven talked about it. You thought he was a guy that was coming in to help kind of stabilize the G League squad at point guard and help, come on and Rasheer when they were down there with the Valley Suns. Instead, he's a guy that comes in and actually is an impact guy. He's making the most of every minute that he's getting out there on the floor, whether it's 5 minutes, it's 20 minutes, whatever it is. He's done the job. And I think this speaks volumes to who he is as a player. Yeah. It speaks volumes, along with Colin, to the G League and how that can help a guy develop, as well as it helped him develop. But I think it also speaks to Brian Gregory's ability to find talent, because if you remember, they already had all their 2-way contracts taken, and they decided to make that move knowing that Jamaree Bouyea could help more at this time. And I've been very impressed with him, and I do not envy the decision that'll have to be made when Jalen Green comes back, how the rotation will look.
I think we need to talk about that for a second here. But first, Sean in the chat with a great line says, "Thrown into the fire and dude loves the heat." I mean,
it's a bar.
It's true.
There we go, Sean. Yeah. Do the Phoenix Suns have a problem, though, is the real question. And a good problem to have, but a problem nonetheless. Right now, I would say they have the deepest guard rotation in the league. Tonight, 2 of their starting guards, Grayson Allen and Jalen Green, didn't play. Those are your 2 or 3 best guards on the team. They still got great guard minutes all around. Colin Gillespie, also a candidate for Blue Collar Boy tonight. 16 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. A team high plus 23 in 28 minutes, shooting 50% from deep on 8 attempts. Colin is obviously the 6th man on this team, right? So that's 4 guards that you now have. 3 of them presumably starting. Okay, what about Jordan Goodwin? Jordan Goodwin has maybe been one of the best values, just like Colin, in the league to his contract. Tonight, 8 points, 3 assists, and some kick-ass defense as well. And then beyond that, you have Jamaree Bouyea, who gave you 24 incredible minutes tonight and has been nothing but phenomenal in his time here. We're talking about, 6 guards before you even talk about Devin Booker?
Yeah.
That is... It's almost too good to the point where it's like, do you convert Jamaree to a full-time roster spot because he clearly deserves it? Or with what you saw out of Isaiah Livers, if he can get back healthy, do you convert him because of the positional need?
I don't know how you're going to decide that. They had 59 points combined from their guards tonight. 59 points
and
combined.
Jalen Green and Grayson Allen didn't play.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane how effective these guys have been. And what are they? They were 22 of 27, 22 of like 41 tonight combined from the floor, as well from the guard position. This is a team that has found what they needed and what they thought they were going to get from the guards, just not the mix of guards that they thought they were going to get it from. So
yeah, the thing that's interesting is encouraging. One, just the sheer amount of talent and what they've been able to do when on the floor. But we've seen Jordan not get basically out of necessity, but we've seen him get interesting with the lineups. We've seen 3-guard lineups, and those guys have looked comfortable doing that. So that gives me some confidence in that when this team gets back to full health, they'll find ways to plug and play. And it's good to know that, you know, if somebody gets in foul trouble early or whatever it is, you have more guys waiting in the wing or waiting to play on the wing to come in there if guys are in foul trouble or things of that nature. So I will say it is going to be intriguing to see kind of how the depth chart is impacted, but I'm also interested to see how lineups are impacted, because I think we will see at times maybe Book, Bouyea, Green, just to try different things to see what it looks like and what works and what won't work.
Well, and I think all of these guards, at least a lot of them being good on defense this year, really helps. Jordan Goodwin can slot down and almost play like power forward for you. Jamaree Bouyea has been just as solid on defense as he has been on offense. Colin Gillespie's an absolute dog on defense. Like I mentioned, 3 steals tonight. Devin Booker's had quite the bounce back season defensively. We've said the same thing about Grayson Allen, who gets after it on that end. And surely we haven't seen Jalen Green, obviously, this season really at all to go into that. But you have to imagine with how everybody's bought in, it would be kind of a stretch to think that he wouldn't at least be engaged on that end. That makes it easier to play them. Plus, look, you haven't had Jalen Green, and you're not going to have Jalen Green until 2026. You have to sign Jamaree Bouyea. He's absolutely deserved and earned it. If you can sign him to a multi-year deal as Colin Gillespie enters the unrestricted free agent market next year as maybe the hottest guard on the market, it'd be good to have that type of insurance. You have to give him the spot because you can never have enough of these 3 things on the team: creation, ball handling, and defense. And those are 3 things that Jamaree Bouyea brings in spades.
Does it give you the option of trading Grayson if there's something that becomes? I mean,
it depends on what you get back.
I mean, yeah, and that's a given. Obviously, it has to be quality, but you look at it and okay, if this is a wealth of riches here, and you are a believer in each of these guys, and there's an opportunity to go out there and raise yourself another level by adding a guy that fits your timeline, fits your culture, and you could do it. I think I at least have to listen to it, where maybe I wouldn't have in the past when we came into this season. I may be willing to listen to it now, as long as it's not we're going to swing for the fences and screw the future kind of move, but we're going to do something that helps us now, but will help us build that future as well. I'd at least consider it at this point.
Yeah, that's what depth gives you, flexibility. And to your point, too, it could be something that kind of gives you a little more flexibility for the future as well. If it's like, hey, we're going to make a move that can help us now and later, and we know that we have 5 or 6 other guards back there that we can depend on and step up and actually can be comfortable with more minutes. So not saying that's something that you have to do or that you should do, but it is something that you should consider doing if the right deal arises.
One of those happy accidents of this year.
Yeah, like you said, it gives you flexibility and options. I know that recently Suns fans maybe haven't been the biggest fan of Grayson Allen, considering, he missed his 3rd straight game tonight with right knee injury management. Coach Ott says he hopes to see him in New Orleans. Obviously, we do as well. There was a point this year where Grayson Allen was playing like the 2nd best player on this team, and a point where Grayson Allen was playing basketball to the point that we all called him untouchable. So what I don't want to do is forget about that right now, and I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying Jamaree Bouyea has been really good, right? You're not sacrificing Grayson Allen to build around Jamaree Bouyea. He's under 30. He's under contract. He's certainly not the first name that I'm looking out there to shop, but if somebody comes with an offer because of how good that he's played, you have to listen, and I think no matter what, Jamaree needs to be on a full-time contract. It's a good problem to have, and I think realistically, he's the best Jalen Green insurance along with Jordan Goodwin and Colin Gillespie that you could ask for at this point. So I'm beyond happy. I think we wrap up conversation about this game. Take a look at this gauntlet schedule that the Suns have finally gotten through. I'm not going to say with ease, but a lot better than a lot of people thought. So we're going to get into all of that, wrap things up on a very fun edition of the PHNX Suns post-game show, celebrating a 24-point victory over the Los Angeles Lakers. And we'll do it on the other side of our final break. Don't panic. Yeah, but Christmas is in 2 days. We talk about Simpsons. That sounded like kind of a Homer scream right there. But Christmas is in 2 days, and maybe you forgot, or maybe you've just been so busy, and you haven't had time to get the perfect holiday gift or the perfect holiday stocking stuffer. Don't worry. Head to a Circle K, grab an Arizona Lottery scratcher. You can do Cash Countdown, which has prizes up to $250,000, or Candy Cane Cash, which smells just like peppermint. Here's the thing that I love about Arizona Lottery. Obviously, it's got over $80 million in prizes that you can win. You can get a big chunk of change. but also it's just a fun experience. Now, of course, you have to be over 21 to gift and to play, but if you are over the age of 21, maybe you're a parent with adult kids and you don't know what to get them for Christmas, or vice versa, you don't know what to get your parents. It's an activity, and it's an activity that might end up making you a whole lot of money. So head to Circle K, get yourself some Arizona lottery tickets, and if you win anything, share it with your favorite podcast, the PHNX Suns podcast. Arizona Lottery, play and gift today.
Eric, you said it's been an up and down season.
Oh,
but
boy.
if you want an up and down night, our friends at Fascination can help you, because this holiday
I've been looking
season,
forward to this ad read
get
also.
what you really want. at
Oh yeah, what would
Fascination.
that be?
I don't know, whatever your heart's desire is, Eric. At Fascinations, they've got everything to make your nights merry and bright. Let's just say ho, 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 all right? But let's be honest, man, walking into an adult shop is never fun. I assume. You don't want to make that weird eye contact with the guy at the counter, or the girl, I guess. And then they say, "Is this for you?" And you don't answer, right? I mean, you just don't. Stop looking at me, Eric, all right? Now you can buy online and pick up in store. Fast, easy, and totally discreet. Wow, that sounds like you could be anything when you're talking about that. Shop at fascinations.net or visit one of their 12 Valley locations in Arizona. Use promo code PHNX30 at checkout to receive 30% off your order. That's PHNX30 for 30% off your order at fascinations.net. Fascinations, naughty list approved.
Espo, I'd say you're the perfect guy to read the ad for Fascinations. I would say I'm probably the worst pick to read for Bet365 because holy crap, I am trash. But
You can't score.
You can be better than me over at Bet365. No moment is ever ordinary. And here's how you know it's a skill issue with me, because Bet365 is up their game this season, and they tell you the last 5 games for the player on the prop that you want to bet on, and I still can't seem to get it right. You three are having great success though in the positive. Be like these three. Don't be like me. Join Bet365, and new customers get 150 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose, sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5, get 150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, total, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, you must be 21 plus and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342. Hold up, let me write that down. Next step to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. Okay, bookmarked. Cool. All right. Thank you all so much.
By the way, Cornell, that is a totally different stream you're going to have to go to see that. We're sorry, all right? That's a different Merry Christmas, all right?
Look, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. PHNX Suns, also naughty list approved. Look,
you really want any of this on the naughty list?
On theme, the Suns put belt to ass against the Los Angeles Lakers. 132 to 108 tonight. Any final thoughts on
Sorry,
the
Mrs. McGregor, if you're watching.
See you tomorrow, Mom.
And you're welcome. Be calm, see clearly. Any final thoughts on tonight's game? Anything we haven't mentioned, or maybe something from a Lakers side of things that we haven't dove into too much?
Oh, I love knowing that it's driving JJ Redick nuts that this team keeps outworking his team.
Mm-hmm.
I love it so much. And these are the kind of games, I gave you a lot of crap in November talking about seeding and all this, but when you look at how Western Conference dominant these first 3 months of the season have been, these are the kind of games that very well may have an impact at the end of the year based on tiebreakers and other things that you're facing.
Yeah, I mean, these Lakers, I had a coach once tell us after a terrible performance at the free throw line, you guys have optional free throw shooting tomorrow, and you better choose the right option. That's probably what JJ Redick told him after shoot 18 of 29 from the line. And I wouldn't be surprised if we were watching another game between the Suns and the Lakers down the line, or we're seeing them play in a high leverage game, and free throw shooting is something that comes back to bite them.
This was the final game of what was deemed maybe the hardest stretch in the entire NBA. Gil, you and I talked to Tim Legler earlier this week. That's still up on our YouTube channel and on our audio feeds. What?
Humble brag.
No, not that much of a humble brag, but we talked to
I talked to Tim Cato this week.
Hey, we got all the Tims over here at PHNX, okay? Look, and one of the Tims told us that he doesn't know that he could find a tougher stretch in the league as far as a team goes. This goes all the way back to, honestly, I want to talk about, people say like the Trailblazers was that first game. To me, it was the Atlanta Hawks where they came back and had a 47-point fourth quarter to beat the Suns by 2 points. And that was the last quote unquote easy part of the schedule. Since then, the Suns have been on an absolute tear. I mean, yeah, they lost to the Rockets, they lost to the Nuggets, they lost to the Rockets again, then to the Thunder, then to the Lakers, and to the Warriors, okay? Teams that they beat in that stretch as well. They beat the Spurs for the second time this season. They beat Minnesota twice. They beat the Trailblazers. They beat the Lakers twice. They beat the Warriors once. And then, yeah, you throw the Kings in there and they beat the Kings. They lost to teams that are clearly better than them. The top three teams in the West. Your Denvers, your Houstons, and your OKCs. Or the San Antonio Spurs, who they beat, who are now the number 2 seed in the West.
They've beat twice
this season, one with Wemby, one without. How impressed have you all been with how the Suns have handled themselves, not just without Jalen Green, but remember, Devin Booker missed extended time during this. Grayson Allen missed extended time during this. Ryan Dunn missed extended time during this. And the Suns still found a way to come out of that stretch 3 games above 500 heading into Christmas.
We had said if they had simply just, were at 500 in totality coming out of this stretch, it would have been a win, right? We talked about that entering this stretch, and instead they go and they're 3 games above 500. I don't think anybody thought that was going to be the case, us included, and they managed to do it. But now I actually think that the next few weeks and this month of January with these Eastern Conference teams is tougher because now you can't buy into your own hype.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have any kind of letdown, and this is where you need to eat. You need to stack wins over the next couple of weeks, so when you get back to playing the top tier teams in the West, you have a cushion again, and that you've put yourself in a good position. Going into the All-Star break, you want to be comfortable, and you do that by taking care of business against teams that aren't as good as you, and Eastern Conference opponents that just have proven that they're not as good as the teams in the West. And that's I think just as tough of a challenge now that the human nature is to go, all right, we made it through. And then how this happens in life. You have a crazy stretch, and then you do that, and inevitably you get sick, right? Because your body goes, oh, I can take a break, and boom, you got a cold, whatever. That the Suns can't have the basketball version of that. They can't take that breath and go, oh, we made it through this. No, the work continues. And, it's difficult in different ways. Maybe the opponents aren't as good, but now you're playing and battling against yourself and the human nature to let off the gas a little bit. And this team has to prove that they are feisty, that they are that scrappy team, that they do work hard any given night, even when it's against a team that you should beat handily.
And that was the initial conversation when they got somewhat of a reprieve with that Kings matchup, right? It was like, okay, listen, don't let your foot off the gas right now. Play them the same way you would play these other tough opponents. And they did that, and we were talking about it. That's what good teams do. And now, to your point, they checked another box of what good teams do and handling this stretch and coming out of it better than they went in, you could say, in some ways, right? To be 16-13 right now, to go into this next stretch that is going to be a little bit lighter on paper, but still remembering that it's the NBA. It's traveling, it's going on the road and having to beat teams who are trying to find their identity, things of that nature. So stick to those principles. I think the most impressive part to me, as we talked about, you mentioned that the first Spurs one was earlier in the season, but to beat multiple teams twice, to beat the Timberwolves twice, to beat the Lakers twice in this stretch, teams who saw
the Kings twice.
Beat the Kings twice, right? To see these teams who you've beaten, the Lakers, you outworked them, and they responded the first time, but then you responded back to that. And it's like, you're kind of asserting your dominance and asserting who you are as a team against these teams. Yeah. I think the Timberwolves probably thought, I know the Timberwolves thought that it was a fluke when they lost here and Colin Gillespie had the game winner. It was that crazy comeback. To go to their house and beat them again not long after that happened, issues another statement to them and to the rest of the Western Conference. So that's what's been very impressive about me, to go back against these teams who are on higher alert and still find ways to beat them.
The Suns have played a lot of teams twice this year, just to kind of put a bow on your point, and they've only lost to that team the second time to the Rockets and to the Thunder. And then to the Lakers, who then they turned around and beat the third time.
Yeah.
Okay? Those are three teams that are at least 10 games above 500 at other points of the season. And Houston, who's struggling right now, you played them at the peak of your powers. I don't want to sugarcoat things here. I know that this is the Suns podcast and that I'm the big Homer fan and all of that. I don't care. This is the truth. The Phoenix Suns going into Christmas are the most impressive story in the entire NBA. They're not the best team in the NBA, but they're the most impressive, not just relative to preseason expectations, but to relative to a 1-4 start. Jalen Green has only played 30 minutes total this year. We could talk about who's the Suns' second best player. He is supposed to be slotted in there as their second best player. Devin Booker has missed time. Grayson Allen has missed a ton of time. Dillon Brooks has missed time this year. Ryan Dunn has missed time this year. Mark Williams can't play back-to-backs, isn't allowed to play over 30 minutes a game. Add on to the fact of that in that 15-game stretch, starting with Portland and ending with LA tonight, they went 8-7, where a lot of those injuries happened in the middle of that stretch against teams like OKC, where they only had a 4-point loss to. We'll ignore the other one where they lost by 50.
Yeah, but they broke them.
They're 1-4 since that game, I think, right? 1-3.
Yeah.
You beat Minnesota twice, one at home and one on the road, a team looking to get revenge, right? You've beaten the San Antonio Spurs twice. You have not only outperformed everybody's expectations, but you've done it with terrible health. You've done it with your back against the wall, and then with the teams that you had already beat and faced the first time, realizing that you are not a pushover, you go out there and you perform again. Every single time the Phoenix Suns have been knocked down this season, they said, I ain't hear no bell. They get back up and they punch you back in the face, and they punch you harder. It is so impressive what Jordan Ott is doing with this team, and I don't even want to single out any individual player, because we've talked about Devin Booker and we've talked about Jamaree Bouyea, and everybody's making an impact. I can't find a more impressive team relative to preseason expectations and through the trials and tribulations that they've had to go to in the National Basketball Association than the team that plays in downtown Phoenix.
Well, I think you got to take into account last year too, because that makes it that much more impressive. This team that was quote unquote a super team starts 8-1. At this point in the season, they were 15-14. This Suns team has a better record than last year's Suns team through the same amount of games. And that in and of itself speaks volumes to where they are in a season that was not supposed to be anything, right? This was a year that if they got 32 wins, they were surprising to the odds makers. They were surprising to people betting on it. The fact that they have proven themselves defensively, that they continue to prove themselves as one of the better shooting teams in the NBA. They have the most steals per game that we've seen, if the season were to end now, since 1997. This is a team that has found so many things that they do and do well, and have done it against some of the best in the Western Conference right now. I agree. They are most likely the most impressive story in the NBA. And I think you could argue, since OKC has gone on this losing streak, that they are the most impressive. Not the best, but the most impressive as of right now as we head into Christmas, when everybody says the NBA actually starts.
Well, you mentioned the Suns starting hot and then faltering throughout the season. For no reason. My segue into this is, right now the Los Angeles Clippers are beating the Houston Rockets 112-94 with 6 minutes left to go in the fourth. I present that with no context. Context is the Rockets have lost to the Kings and the Pelicans in their last 4 games, and we'll add a loss to the Clippers to that tonight.
And there just so happens to be 2 people from last year's team in the building.
God, sorry, just no context there.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
All right.
At least 2.
If they lose, that actually puts the Suns not too far behind.
Two
They're,
games back.
like, what is we're 16-13.
So they would be,
they're 17-10.
They'd be 17-10. Right.
Okay.
But that's also a Houston team that has played a lot less games than the Suns. That's also something to throw in there with how impressive they've been. It's not just been the teams they face, but the fact that until you got to this gauntlet part of the schedule, they didn't have a single game with 2 days off in between to start the season.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is a team that all the odds were stacked against them. and they've still found a way to succeed. And you just think if a couple things can break into their favor in 2026, if Jalen Green can come back healthy, if Grayson Allen can come back healthy, if they can make a nice trade on the margins to shore up backup center or get a big wing, right? If one of these rookies develops that we saw tonight, Rasheer Fleming, Kamal Malawach, it's hard not to get excited about not what the future of this team could look like, what this season could look like. And if any of us said that, even with our highest expectations, I think that we would have been surprised. So I think there's no better way to head into Christmas than on that note. I think that was a really fun conversation. On our way out, we have, do we have more super chats? Ayrton, or are you saying more chat? Okay, I didn't know.
No, we were talking to Chico State in there. Thanks for being here, buddy. We just appreciate you. It helps the algorithm. And
somebody talking crap.
You do you. Gila River Resorts and Casinos are in our chat, buddy, because it helps us.
Oh man, yes, there is an algorithm to help Kaylee. We are addicted to figuring out how to get that algorithm to like us.
It's hopium and algorithm. That's what we're addicted to here.
Yeah. Look, just want to wish everybody a happy holiday season, whether you just finished celebrating Hanukkah or you're about to celebrate Christmas with your family.
Why'd you put it?
I was doing this.
Celebrating Hanukkah?
I was just doing my hand emotions, okay? Or if you don't celebrate anything, hopefully you can celebrate the Phoenix Suns being 3 games over 500. We're thankful to all of you who hang out with us in the chat, who listen on audio, who watch after the fact, who are maybe just starting to tune in, because as we all know, the NBA only starts on Christmas, and that means at the start of the season, the Phoenix Suns are 3 games above 500.
What a head start right there. I love that.
We'll take it.
We all go back to 0-0.
No, thank you. I think if we all go back
pre-season.
Honestly, if we all go back to 0-0, that helps the Suns out because they started 1-4. I think if we go back to 0-0, the Suns end up even a higher seed than where they're at right now. Like I mentioned, no show tomorrow. We'll be enjoying Christmas Eve. And no show on Christmas for the first time in the history of PHNX Suns. There is no Suns game on
see
Christmas.
Me the entire day of Christmas.
I mean, aren't we just lucky?
No, my kid's like, nah, go to work, Dad.
Dad, are you sure that you don't want to do a Spurs Thunder postgame show?
Dad, why don't you go to the home studio and just talk to yourself? That sounds fun.
Yeah. This is going to be a fun Christmas full of basketball, but it'll be a nice one. We can all have a little bit of a break, and we all can go into Christmas happy. We'll be back with a pregame show and a postgame show Friday night as your Phoenix Suns begin a 2-game stint in New Orleans. Back-to-back games on the road. Hopefully big games and fun games from Devin Booker as well. So make sure you hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button so you know when we go live. And it's not just PHNX Suns here. We have all sorts of other coverage here, whether it's Espo on Southwest Bias, which is our daily morning show, PHNX Diamondbacks in the middle of off-season coverage, PHNX Cardinals trying to hold their life together as the Cardinals do everything in their power to rip it apart. Of course, our college beats, PHNX Wildcats covering the #1 basketball team in the country. PHNX Sun Devils going through a very, very, very fun transfer portal season building up to a bowl game and so much more right here on PHNX Sports.
Chico, I think you need to go to fascinations.net. Looks like you need to relieve a little stress.
Did Chico block me? I don't see anything from Chico.
Consider yourself lucky.
I want to see this. Says Suns fans don't exist. Brother, I hate to break it to you. That's not
true. We do, and sometimes we're miserable.
And sometimes we wish we did it. But not right now, because the Suns are good, and so is our chat. Hit the like button on the way out. Hit the subscribe button on the way out. We're almost at 50,000 subscribers here at PHNX. If we can get even closer by the end of the year, that would be amazing. Pretty great for a channel that has no Suns fans to watch.
No, it's all Cardinals fans.
All Cardinals fans. Make sure you follow the show at PHNX_Suns. If any news comes out about Grayson Allen or anything over the next couple of days, we will have you updated there. And of course,
hold on.
Go ahead.
When was the last time the Warriors went to the finals?
It was a couple of years ago. It was after.
It's 22.
Okay, so a year after the Suns went to the finals. Chico, you are just hilarious, buddy. It's all right.
Gotta work on the material.
I mean, yeah,
You should have practiced that one.
I mean, I guess it is Festivus. He's airing his grievances.
Why is there a Warriors fan in here right now?
I mean, because he has no family to be with the night before Christmas Eve.
They got a big game against the Mavs on Thursday, man. Get ready for Flag.
What?
Yeah, we're glad to
Some
have you.
people really confuse me, man.
Yeah.
That's a topic for another day. I'm not confused about our GOAT behind the Mac. Freckled Mamba making all of the magic happen. You can follow him at Freckled Mamba. You can follow Espo at Espo. Catch him on Southwest Bias every morning. You can follow Gil at Gil McGregor _ celebrating Hanukkah. As always, Gil. You can follow me at ERIKRUBY. In the meantime, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Luca is still a ho ho ho.
And Gil's now in the Hanukkah song. Ahoy hoy.